the hottest and warmest of minutes. This is a nice stiff chair.
I was like, I haven't sitting in this in a long time. That feels really nice.
It does. This is a nice stiff chair. I feel like a king, like royalty.
What about a king what about that feeling makes you feel like a king?
So I think the big part of the king is that the chair is very stiff. I don't feel like I'm sinking into it. So I feel very upright.
Okay.
And it's a wider chair, and it has these really high arms. So you spread out a little bit more, so you already look larger.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like, because your arms are out wider, you can breathe in deeper. You can take in more air, more energy, more oxygen. It just makes you do all sorts of crazy shit.
Speaking of being wider, you are the antithesis to being wider. You're now the skinny king.
I don't know. You're
like a skinny guy.
I'm probably bigger than you still, right?
No, you're far less.
For the first time in over a decade, I'm smaller than you.
Yeah. I would not say a decade.
No, it's probably been that.
Really?
Yeah. I think the last time I was this weight was when I left for SIU.
No shit.
Yeah.
No
so
shit.
2011.
What are you at right now?
275.
My God, that's amazing, dude. That's fight weight.
Yeah, I was actually it's weird how like as I go down in weight, I constantly am going through like last time I weighed this, I was this. You know, last time I weighed this much is when I met my wife the first time.
For real?
At the going away party. And I told Heather, I was just like,
this is what you fell in love with.
Yeah, this is the guy this is the size of me like when we met in 2011.
Yeah.
You know, we got married in 2016 and I was 315 at that time. But like as I've gone down, like even when I hit 315, I was like, this is the weight I was when we got married, babe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. And now I'm 275. This is the size I was when we met the first time.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
And like I celebrate like every 10 pounds, unless there's like something also in there. Like, so I'm not like trying to go from like 400 plus to 225. Like I'm just trying to lose 10 pounds. Like I just want to see that second number change. When the first number changed, like that was a big deal.
Yeah.
When we went from 300 to 200, I was like, holy shit. Like the last time I saw this was a long time ago. And yeah, it was 2011. Last time I was in the 200s. Last time I was 275 was 2011.
Wow. That puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you're more attuned to your weight and like the levels of your weight and like the ideology of those mile markers because you were an athlete dealing with weight classes?
I do. I think a lot of my weight loss, like how I have like a marker of like, this is what I was when and all this stuff was because I did lose weight all the time when I was in high school wrestling. And like, it was always just something that was, you know, it was like this burden that I always like had to be at a certain weight at certain times. And it was the stress of that. And, you know, and I would hop on scales to see where I was. And I would take like a little mental note of this is what I was at this time. So yeah. And and every time that like, I remember my weight going up, just always thinking like, well, I'll lose it. Well, I remember seeing like, well, I'll never see 300. And then I saw 300 and then I freak out and then I like lose other weight. But then like, I'll go about my life and then I'll just hop on a scale again. And then I'm 315.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Well, I won't do that again. I'll get back under 200, you know, and I'll try and work real hard and then it'll go back down. Yeah. I remember like saying like, well, I'll never see 4. That'll never happen. And then like when the scale read error because my scale only goes up to 400, I remember like, I don't even know how much more I was over.
No shit.
So,
did you go to the doctor?
Yeah. Like with the weight loss?
No, I meant before the weight loss.
I did. Yeah. Like I think we talked about this like the last time we were on. This was months. I don't remember the last time we talked.
A fucking minute ago. It's been a long time.
I'll just.
Well, I'd actually like to think about that while we're talking about this, because that's kind of like right after you started doing this weight loss really intently. Like,
yeah, I started October 1st was the date that I started.
Okay.
Like the idea of like, shit, I really got to do this was when my dad got put on hospice. So he got put on hospice, I want to say in like mid-August. And I remember thinking like something about this. Like I can't, because he got, you know, it's due from complications from diabetes is really kind of what ended up doing him in. And I I remember thinking like, shit, like that's me. That's me laying there. That's going to be me in the not too distant future if I don't do something about this. And then I went to my trip for the Boundary Waters and Burley. I remember I could load my pack and I could walk with the pack on, but as soon as I took the pack off and I took compression off my spine, something happened with the way that thing was aligned. I couldn't walk for longer than 5 minutes. I would almost have to like lay down.
Was it that long? You had told me as soon as you got back from the trip.
5 minutes. I had like 5 minutes tops
Wow.
of like how I was able to walk, or I'd have to sit down and like rest because I was in so much pain. I would have to just hold my breath because my back hurt so much.
And now?
Dude, the pain went away within like 2 weeks of me losing weight. And the reason for it, the diet plan that my doctor put me on is an anti-inflammatory diet. So like it's super low salt, and it's all super low in low glycemic foods.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's an example of a low glycemic food?
Like leafy greens are definitely like low glycemic. I'm not allowed to eat like beans because they're a little bit higher than what.
No
what it
shit.
could be. I can't even do legumes.
Wow,
I can't do bacon at all. I can't do any added salt, or very very little added salt. Like my salt's super low, which I'm shocked. Like I thought like if I'm working out a lot, like I'll cramp. But like I don't. There's so much like, especially like if you're eating a lot of protein, and I am.
Yeah.
They inject like chicken with so much sodium just to bulk them up, so they could sell it at a higher weight, some shit like that. But I'm like, there's salt in everything that you're eating already, so I don't really add. I think I've added my own salt maybe like 3 times over the past.
No kidding.
5 months. I've never had salt. I don't need it.
Wow.
Like I said, the only times was when like I'd be doing like yard work for like 8 hours.
And
something I couldn't even do before.
Beyond dehydrated.
And beyond dehydrated.
Yeah.
My body's freaking. I just need a little of salt. And all I do is I just take like a little salt shaker and just go.
Oh, no
like,
kidding.
Just one little shake.
Yeah.
And that's all I need.
There's
it's crazy how little I need.
It's shocking when you bring this up. We've been drinking salt all our lives, right? Like
Gatorade.
It's Gatorade. Anything with electrolytes. Yeah, it's what plants crave. So there's I go to the Japanese mall over in Arlington Heights, and I always want to try something, right? And one of the things that I've seen since I was a kid going there is called Pocari Sweat. Okay. And I always thought it was really gross that there was a drink called Sweat, but I had to try it. So it's a sports drink, but it's not sweet. And I'm very used to having like the Powerade, the Gatorade, where it's just like really freaking sweet, right? And Pocari Sweat is all the sweet taken out. So like the sugar is really low, but I can taste all the salt. And it literally tastes like I'm drinking salt water.
Do you like it?
In a weird way, yes.
Really?
Like, I don't think I could drink it to enjoy it. But if, like you said, like if I'm outside doing yard work, holy crap, does that bring me right back? I did a shoot during the winter, and I had this with me, and I never got fatigued. I never got tired. It was a really cool feeling. The only other thing I've ever seen that actually works like that is called Pedialyte.
Yeah.
But again, shit tons of salt. So
you can get like screwed up by drinking too much Pedialyte, though.
So I've heard.
Yeah, you can, like if you're like getting your salt balance, your sodium levels correct, can like really screw you up. Like Heather's mom, like her sodium levels got really screwed up. Like she lost her vision, and all sorts of like wonky shit can happen
because of salt levels.
Yeah, because of her salt levels.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sodium will make you wonky. It's also like an indicator of like, yeah, your body will not handle sodium very well.
Really?
You got like something really bad. And in her case, it was really bad lung cancer.
Jesus.
Speaking of, I remembered about this because you were just talking about Mitsuha, I'm assuming is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I was perusing YouTube. This was like a couple weeks. No, this was probably almost like a month ago. There was it was like a recap thing that they had of an anime cartoon or a comic. I forgot. It was either an anime cartoon or they have both. Like I guess this comic is being turned into a cartoon. Okay. So they're super far ahead, just like what they are with like One Punch Man. One Punch Man's like super far ahead, and they're
you mean the manga is further along
correct,
than okay,
correct.
Yeah.
And it was about like a guy who's an adventurer, and he goes and he's like, and all it is like, and you know, he's got to like get golden experience points, and he dies in the cave, and they bring him back, and he's a skeleton.
Oh,
and like the
I
whole
watched
thing,
this.
yeah, and the whole thing is like this guy who's trying to level up,
Yeah.
and I'm just completely amazed by it. It's so good. It's so good.
So the story, now I'm not up to date, and I've only read a couple chapters of the
It's
manga.
like Dead Skeleton Adventure or something like that.
It is something like that, yeah. A skeleton, a guy wakes up as a skeleton in the bottom of a dungeon. He gets his memories. He gets out of the dungeon. He finds a mage or a necromancer. Lo and behold, that's the person who actually like brought him back from the dead to begin with. And then he's killed again by bandits. And then he's resurrected.
This is a different one.
That's a different one?
That's a different one.
Get the fuck out.
And the one that you're talking about
Get
is
the
I was
fuck out.
about to tell you about that one. That one is super cool too.
Oh, wait, that one is dope as shit, by the way.
This other one is also dope as shit. It's two of them. The one that you're talking about where he's the protector of the mage.
Yes.
And like as soon as he dies, it brings him right back to the last thing that
and then
he did.
ends up like letting the bandits kill the mage because he's like, well, fuck this guy. I'm going to do my own shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is super cool. No, this one is like, it's a totally different story where it's just an adventurer who dies. Like he went down a different part of this
dungeon
that he'd never been before. And he fought a dragon and nobody knew about this dragon. And it wipes him out. And like, it's just him building back up. And he ends up like putting a cursed mask on and he can't take the mask off. So
that's it.
And that's like the image of him is like
Sai-Hatten Paladin or something like the faraway paladin.
It's so cool. I wish I could find it now, but there's like that one and One Punch Man. I like have been thinking about like maybe I'll pick up some manga and read it because this shit's really good. But my problem with manga, and we talked about this like on a podcast years ago, manga's really hard to read because there's so much. There's a lot of cultural references that just don't make sense. And it's really hard to like get things.
The more you read, the more that it becomes obvious, but it takes time.
Yeah, but it's not obvious. And there's things that like you don't even know about.
Oh, of course there's not.
Because there was
of course there's not. Of course there is.
One of the books that I read was
have you been getting into manga recently?
Just on YouTube.
This is shocking.
I've been spending way too much on YouTube. Like I don't watch movies anymore. Like I spend a lot of time just being on YouTube watching shit. And recently my Amazon my Fire Stick went out and I've just decided not to replace it. And I have gotten so much shit done around the house.
Right?
It's insane. I just don't watch YouTube all the time.
Yeah. Well, I like YouTube because it's like the place to go to learn something, especially when you deep dive down a rabbit hole.
And that's it, is deep diving.
Yeah.
But, and then I get mad at people that, somebody who's like, well, you got to do your research type of people and they're watching YouTube. So you always have to remind yourself like, hey, dickhead, you watch stuff on YouTube sometimes too. So don't be that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I still buy books and stuff. I just bought a book on how to properly build a shed. Like if there's any like sort of like shed details.
Okay. First and foremost, that's an awesome fucking book to have. Are you wanting to build a shed, or is that just something like you want to have?
We need to have a garden shed really bad, and because we live in a historic district, there's a lot of design stipulations on what we have to do, and so I need to have a shed with a hip roof, which is just.
Just make it hip. Just make it cool, man.
No, geez. So like most homes, or a lot of homes, are going to be like a gabled roof, and that's like your typical like Dan Gable. Yeah. And that's the one that looks like the doghouse, where you just have like two pieces with a single ridge. A hip is the one that has the 4 ridges off.
Oh, yeah, right. Like it looks like a 4 part pyramid.
Yeah, and it's just a pain in the ass to like you're gonna get charged more because not
really?
A lot of people will do hip. Sometimes you will. Like it was really big when my home was built. People would do a hip roof because it would have a lower pitch and you can get it flatter because there's a lot of like the prairie style architecture would often have hip roofs.
Isn't that dangerous for snow?
You can flatten them out a little bit. Not necessarily. It can, yes and no. Like you can get large drifts, but with a hip roof, I have 4 edges that drain to a gutter system, whereas
Gotcha.
a gable's only. So you're gonna
yeah,
take
yeah,
way
you're
more
right.
weight on either side, but it won't go in the other directions. Mine, like you essentially take the load and divide it,
Okay.
or as far as like the snow load.
Yeah.
So
Please let there be a line item in your invoices called snow load.
no, snow load's an actual thing. Like when you're doing like structural calculations,
Mm-hmm.
your snow load is a load that you have to calculate for.
Dropping snow loads.
I guess it does sound awesome, doesn't it? Oh
So,
man, dude, that guy like really ate shit down there. Yeah, man, that was a snow load.
I just learned about the like you've watched Rick and Morty where they talk about dropping loads. They're making fun of a porn star who that's what he says when he comes.
Dropping loads.
He goes dropping loads and like
What's the name of the guy?
I don't know. And like if John,
somebody. I hope somebody listening is
if
like,
we
it's
had
obviously this guy.
any sort of preparation for this, I would have all this information. But the dude he's so weird. I've watched a few of his movies, not like intent, like I just kind of like scan through waiting for him to talk, and he's amazing.
We're talking about the porn star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he is pure chaos. He's everything I don't want to see in a porn. And I'm willing to bet, granted I'm not female, I'm willing to bet the majority of women don't want to see either.
Is he like an alpha douche?
Yeah.
Boy.
He's basically a caveman where like his vocabulary is like dick mouth, suck dick. And then like that's all he says. And he's like, good, fuck now. And like
Does he have a real thick beard?
no, he's clean shaven.
Clean shaven. Okay.
But he was known for like a long time. He won't say it in anymore, apparently. Like he won't do it in like any of the new porns. Apparently it's too passe. But he was known for saying dropping loads like whenever he would come. And I can't imagine the acting chops of the person he's working on the scene with to hold a straight face when he says this shit. Because I would be laughing my ass off. Granted, I don't want to be come
I think,
upon,
like,
but
that came about. He's probably like drinking beer with his buddies. It's one of his like loser buddies. It's
Yeah.
just like, man, next time you do that, you should just yell, dropping loads.
it's
It's like, do you bet me, bro? I'll totally do it, bro. You should do it, bro. You should yell dropping loads, bro.
and he did it for
yeah,
like
bro.
300 movies, and it's not. You know how like there's always like a
So he
plot
did it
or something.
unironically?
He did it unironically. He just did it because that's what he does.
Maybe that's what he just yelled.
Yeah, like remember
Some people might make a squeak sound. He just yells, dropping loads.
mine would be I'm sorry.
Yeah, crying.
It just start crying, Daddy, in like the bad way, not the hot way.
Yep.
So, talking about books, like I want to revisit this whole manga thing, by the way, because if you ever want to go down manga paths, I would love to fucking talk about this. And I understand your level of what you want out of manga.
Like there's,
I get it.
I don't know. Yeah, there's like something.
Like Call of the Night, that would be like one of my first recommendations for you.
It would be One Punch Man would probably be the first one I read. I love One Punch
Yeah.
Man. And I'm fascinated that it's written by two separate people. Did you know about this?
No, I thought it was just one guy. I thought it was
So some guy who doesn't even know how to draw just loved manga so much that he wanted to create his own manga.
Right.
And he just did his best at drawing. And he wrote it all. And it was just started as a webcomic. And people loved it so much that a guy named Murata, who's like one of the
Correct.
number one
Yeah, I know.
illustrators of all time, literally reads his comics and then redraws them for him after he writes them.
I didn't know
So
that.
you have there's three stories. There's the OG guy's story, Murata that does it, and Murata will make changes probably with his consent.
Right.
One is the guy who writes it.
One, yeah,
One.
right,
So one is the
right,
original
right,
writer
right.
and the tried to illustrator. Murata and one do like kind of like the official one that everybody reads.
Okay.
And then there's the
anime?
the anime that they have.
Yeah. Which, by the way, did you start season 2?
I did. It's not as good.
It's fucking terrible because they traded. I think it was Studio Trigger did the first season. I think so. Don't hold me to that. But it wasn't the same studio doing the second season, so they didn't put the heart and care into like the actual directors who, a good director will make or break an entire piece. Especially in animation, someone doesn't understand animation and how like animation flows versus film, how it flows.
So I think like the feeling of a lot of it, like the first season is really awesome, and I think I'm assuming it's because it matches up really well with the content, where it's like I'm gonna write a story about a guy who doesn't care about being a hero, and he's the strongest hero that's ever lived, right? And that was where like a lot of the humor came from. That's how I got pulled in, because all the reasons why I thought manga was stupid, they blatantly make fun of it. Correct. And I thought that was so funny. And
it's very meta.
It's incredibly meta, and I thought that was really fun. But then he kind of builds up into like, being a guy that actually is like wants to try, but he's still kind of like a dorky guy. The second season, like you can see him like taking it like a lot serious, like a little bit more seriously. And I never really understood why, but I'm reading the later manga now. I really just got to start at the beginning.
Start over. I always make that mistake. Hello.
Uh-oh. National tornado warning.
Holy shit. Last time this happened, it was Osama bin Laden got killed on one of our shows.
That's right.
The wife's home. Tornado siren is going off. Says it's just a watch. And now my phone says to take shelter.
No, we're already down here.
Hey, Andy, come on down. No, I just got it.
Hey,
wow.
lady.
Holy shit.
I'm 275. Ooh, that was a loud one.
Dude, I don't know. I don't.
Oh yeah.
Barely.
No, I can hear it.
I don't think you guys will be able to hear this at home. I don't think you'll be able to hear that, but that was loud. We are in the basement.
Yeah, that one sounded like it actually landed over there.
Dude, what was it? I have this on camera, by the way, not the actual thing, but the aftermath. We were outside in the gardening one day, and I was doing my video out there for the garden series, and a giant tree split in half on the next block over, and all you heard was screaming. So I was like, fuck, grab the camera, go! Because I want to make sure everyone's okay, but at the same time, I kind of want to document it as well.
Yeah.
And I get over there, and literally the family just got home, and they watched the tree split in half and fucking canoe their house.
Oh, man.
But they were driving up the driveway when it happened. Like, if they would have gotten home, yeah, everyone was safe. The pets were safe. Everyone was safe. If they would have gotten home a minute earlier, they probably would have been dead.
Wow.
It was so fucking mind-blowing.
I don't know if you know this, but when my parents sold their house in West Chicago, the very next day, the room that they would have been sleeping in, the tree in the backyard crushed into that room.
The next day?
Yeah, after they closed on the house. And what's funny is that the new owner tried to get my parents to pay for it.
Oh,
They're
fuck you.
Like, we don't own it. Like,
your house, your problem.
Yeah, and dude, that house was cursed for sure. My parents left the curse, and that guy, like, that's how you had to break the curse. It's because my brothers and I pissed on that tree for decades.
It just slowly eroded it, and until it just pissed it off.
Well, there was a witch that in the root ball underneath that tree that we were pissing away the dirt that was enclosing the witch. This could be a really good story, by the way.
I was gonna say that sounded really kind of like epic. Of course. All right.
Sounds like something you'd see on like Ernest Scared Stupid.
It kind of reminds me of the Never Laugh as a Hearse Go By books.
For you may be the next to die.
Where you read like 2-3 pages of a story.
Yeah. Scary stories to tell in the dark.
Scary stories to tell in the dark. God
yeah, they did a movie of that.
Oh, stupid.
And it was awful. Which sucks because I remember like the illustrations were all done with Indian ink and they were terrifying.
They were so good.
And
they were so good.
Yeah, they just ruined it. They ended up doing there's a documentary about the making of it.
I saw that too.
I didn't get to finish it. I wanted to. Was that good?
No, I'm sorry. I saw that it exists.
It's on
I did
Amazon.
not watch it.
I know it's on Amazon. I think it's still there.
Can we go ahead and talk about two real things, and then I want to come back to something else.
Yeah.
One, fuck Hulu. I am so fucking sick of streaming services in general.
What's going on with Hulu?
But Hulu is like, I've never liked Hulu. It's always been like, okay, I can't find anything I want. I guess I'll go to Hulu. And Hulu, we are paying not the top, not like the $40 fucking a month thing, but we're paying the one underneath it that includes live TV, and we're not paying it for it on purpose. We get it through our Verizon, so I guess I really have no place to bitch. But everything has commercials.
Serious?
And I am livid with the idea of commercials.
I would get rid of Hulu. I have Hulu, but
like I said, we have it for free, so I really have no place to bitch. But like, Netflix is going that way this year, like very soon.
I would pay more money to not have commercials.
I think most people.
I would if it came to it where they brought commercials back to that, I would go back to what I did for 20 years
and just not have TV.
and not have TV.
Dude, that's why I have a server.
And I just hope to God I could still buy content.
Yeah.
I hope I can still buy DVDs.
I actually have a rant about this. So the other thing, before I get into the rant, before I go back to the other thing, fuck Hulu. I'm sick of that kind of mindset. It's like, we're paying for a service. Please stop fucking advertising to me. The other thing, Amazon engaged TVs have a new feature. I don't know how new it is, but I just found out about it because it's happened to me. And I went online. Sure enough, everyone else is doing it too. If you turn on your Amazon engaged TV, like I have an LG with Amazon built into it, and the first thing it does when it turns on is shows you commercials.
That happened with I have a newer Amazon Fire Stick in the basement. Yeah, and the first thing it kicks off is a fucking commercial. The one upstairs, now I'm wondering. The one upstairs is an older one.
Yeah.
It just stopped working one day. Huh.
The TV.
Yeah, remember I told you like it
stick,
broke
yeah.
and I never went back to it?
There is documented proof of tech. They have death dates.
They clock it.
Yeah, they're designed to only last a certain amount of time, so you have to buy a new one. And typically, the cheaper the technology, the more that isn't a real thing.
I don't know if there's anything on TV that I really give a shit about anymore.
Well, fuck, there's so much down that rabbit hole. There are so many fucking good shows. The problem is we as a population are not advertised with them unless you are constantly seeking out new content. Like you're on, YouTube every day going, what's the hottest new shows on all platforms right now? And there are so many fucking good shows, dude. But I don't have Peacock, but Peacock was kicking fucking ass on shows for a while. I don't have HBO Max, and HBO Max is okay, but every once in a while they have a great show. I don't have Apple TV, but every once in a while Apple TV has a really fucking good show.
They got the eighth Air Force.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
It's the new, how Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg do like a whole series on World War II. It's the Air Force.
That's it. Is that Apple?
Apple.
Jesus, good for them.
I'd like to watch it, but I don't care also. You know what Heather and I have been doing?
Yeah. Oh, you've been watching wrestling.
We've been watching wrestling.
Are you still watching it?
Yeah.
God damn, that makes me happy.
We'll watch like old school wrestling as we go to sleep.
Yeah,
and it's funny because it'll be like Monday Night Wrestling, right? And I remember watching this when I was 6 years old. I was like, the last time I watched this, I was 6 years old.
No
and
shit.
I'm remembering these matches. I was like, I fucking remember this shit. I remember all the people. Heather always laughs at me because I know all the wrestlers.
Did you see Iron Claw yet?
No. I want to. You know what what I was going to be saying that we've been doing a lot? We've been just going to the movies. I've been going to the movies like almost once a week.
Have you really?
Fuck yeah.
Have you watched?
Awesome.
So tell me.
Some good, some bad.
But it's experience. I don't care if it's a bad movie.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome.
Experience.
I get popcorn with no salt.
Can you have popcorn?
Yeah. I mean, I do.
I didn't know that.
I do.
Ah, gotcha.
I don't. Okay. I mean, I've still been losing and I'm eating popcorn.
Good for you, man.
I just, I think
just no salt.
Yeah. I just don't do salt.
Speaking of which, where's my fucking tea? Keep talking.
Where's my tea? Where's my schnitzel? Where's my fucking schnitzel? Nah, dude, we've been watching like, oh shit, what is it? We watched Stranger Than Fiction. We watched.
Wait, the old movie with Will Ferrell?
No, I'm sorry. I guess that was Is it Stranger Than Fiction?
I say old like it's a fucking old movie.
American Fiction.
American Fiction. I watched that one.
I was very upset with that.
Were you?
It was awful. I remember looking over at Heather and being like, is this a metamodernism thing? Because
Yes.
this movie is about black people and it's fucking awful.
Yes.
And are people going to think that this is amazing? Because it's a
Yes.
shit, awful movie.
Let's go down this rabbit hole,
Oh my
sir.
God, it was complete
I am in the
fucking
process of
crap.
watching all the Academy Award films
It
right
is
now.
crap. I thought it was so bad.
I did too.
I watched Wonka. The best part that I liked about Wonka was when they played the original song. I thought I didn't like it. I didn't like the characters.
Yeah. I've heard nothing positive.
And what's his name? The Chimay kid, the guy who played Wonka. He's
I
also
don't
the
know.
one who's in Doom.
I
Or
haven't.
in Dune.
Is that for real?
That's him.
Oh, that's
He's an awesome actor, but like they just
Yeah.
gave him like some real shite lines.
bad writing and bad direction.
So we watched that. I watched Poor Things. Fucking amazing.
That's next on my list.
It
Awesome.
was amazing. I watched it. When you watch it, I want you to know I sat next to old women who I didn't know while watching that.
Gotcha.
It's borderline porn.
Okay.
It is fucking crazy. And I can't share anything because it's so awesome.
Yeah.
It is like the premise of it is so incredibly fucked up, but it is so awesome. I like the way that they did everything. I would the next time we talk, I would love to like talk.
Okay.
I could talk about the entire time about Poor Things. That's how good it was.
I'm on like a pilgrimage, like a self pilgrimage, to not learn about a movie before I watch it.
Well, I mean, I will say no more
Yeah.
other than easily the best film I've seen all year.
Okay.
Nothing's even close.
That's good
That's
because
probably the best movie I've seen in several years now.
No, Jesus, really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Did you see Beau is Afraid? I was so pissed that wasn't up for best film.
Beau is Afraid?
Yeah, it's by Ari Aster, the guy who did Hereditary, and the other one about the cult in the middle of nowhere in Holland. The movie's fucking haunting.
Yeah?
Like it's a long, slow burn with a lot of chaos thrown in. It is an uncomfortable watch, but it is beautiful. Literally shocked. Like when the Academy Awards nominations came out, I had no doubt in my mind that would have been like number one on the list. But then I started watching the rest of the Academy Award nominations.
They shite?
I haven't enjoyed one yet.
You're going to like Poor Things. Poor Things is so good. Everything is amazing. Like
Okay.
The cinema, like I don't think I've seen
All right, stop blowing
Yeah.
it up because
like like Amelie level cinematography.
Oh, fuck you, for real?
Oh, it's been good.
I watched his new film, too.
I almost want to like see who the cinematographer is because it's fucking incredible. Saw Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah, Diablo Cody.
Yeah, Diablo Cody and Zelda Williams.
And Zelda Williams. Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. I mean, it wasn't great, but like it was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
And
it was dumb
great.
fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was really good. So I really want to. I want to see Dune 2. Probably, maybe this weekend. Maybe.
Wait, is that out already?
Dune 2 comes out March 1st. So this Friday.
This is how far off I am.
I think it comes out this Friday.
I had no idea.
I would love it, dude. The first Dune was amazing. I thought it was so good. It was so good. I ended up reading all the books.
Did you really?
Well, although like the first part of the series.
Yeah, because that shit's dense.
I read Dune, Children of Dune, and then like God Emperor of Dune.
Okay.
It was good. Like that arc is awesome.
Oh.
But then when I started looking at like some of the other books, like it looks like really going off on tangents and stuff, and I don't know if I really like the world that much to like really stick around with it. But Frank Herbert's very deep philosophy. Like I don't like really, really well thought out books. And it's a shame that like he passed away before he could finish his series. You know, this is
Really?
what's going to happen with George R. R.
I didn't
Martin.
know that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a full series. I think he died like 2 books short of completing it.
Wow. George R. R. Martin, I'm sorry. Like the flame has been put out. I'm done. I'm tired. I don't give a shit anymore. He is sitting on his ass way too much. I don't fucking care.
It's a shame. That guy, like, he's making a shit ton of money doing something else.
Yeah,
So,
well, he's writing
there's
comics galore, like left and right.
Yeah, he's just never going to finish it. Like, he sold out and let HBO tell the story for him. They really dropped the ball. And
Yeah. Do you think he's nervous about finishing it? Because it's like probably one of the most hyped book series in history.
like as anticipated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll never be able to live up to it. But the thing is that he can. You know, I'm convinced that if he could have finished it, they'll be reading about him in hundreds of years.
Agreed.
Because the level of foreshadowing that guy was like,
Oh my God, yeah.
capable of, and metaphor,
Yeah.
was at a Shakespearean level.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I'd say more than that.
Like, it's crazy, like how important that, like, the color of somebody's eyes were,
Right?
or the way that
was said one time in passing in a
that was
sentence.
said in passing could foreshadow like an entire empire falling. I mean, it was
Right.
amazing, and the way how there's multiple ways to read it. I mean, it's fucking, he's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and he had to take a long time to go in between the books, but there's so many loose ends, and he'll just never finish it all. Like the whole, like they never even went into Dorne really on the TV show. They never went into all the guys coming together in the north. Yeah, they just they barely scratched the surface, the show, and they completely but I don't know. I did finish Magic 2.0.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, it's funny. That was it was good. It was really good. I'll say character wise, Martin is awful. Martin is so awful.
But he's the every person. He's the doof every person.
So I think the one thing that I have an issue with is how cynical everybody is. Like nerdy cynical. Like why? Like everybody's just got a shitty thing to say. And I don't fucking want to hear that. You know, but you know who doesn't? I have a handful of characters that I really like. Roy. I fucking love Roy so much. Because he's an old dude that just worked top secret things.
Yeah.
And happened across a file, and he's essentially if they did a whole thing. Oh my God, dude, I would love this. If they had a whole thing with Roy as a noir that he wrote. Oh my God, I would read that. And also my other favorite character, Jimmy. Jimmy is easily the guy who played Merlin.
I agree.
He's the best story in the entire series.
The greatest arc.
And they've set it up. He totally set it up. If you wanted to do a side thing, he could have the two FBI guys and Jimmy just going off on doing things. I would read that all day.
That feels too
so easy.
sitcom-y.
I don't care. I would read that because that's great. My most hated character easily is what is it? Bridget? Who's the girl? Who's all the girls?
The girl who's also the future girl.
Yeah,
who's
not Gwen, but
oh fuck, dude! It's been so long since I've read them.
Just getting worse. She is such a bitch, man. Yeah, we get it. You're a woman. Everybody's against you. Come on, man. There was one line though when you now I'm thinking about it now, I can't remember any of their fucking names.
I know.
The
give me the archetype. Give me the character.
The main old guy.
The fucking main old guy. Good God, dude. This is how long I have.
I just finished it. How did I forget all this?
And there's 6 books.
I know there's 6 books, but there's a shit ton of characters.
Yeah, it does escalate. So anyone listening out there, I think this is the first time I'm actually addressing you guys. This is a series called the Magic 2.0 series. The first book is called
Off to Be the Wizard.
To Be the Wizard by Scott Meyer. We've talked about it before, actually a couple times.
Yeah, you tried to get me to read this years ago.
Yeah.
And I finally just said, all right.
And the audiobook, good God.
Yeah, the guy did a great job.
I'm forgetting the guy's name, but buy every single book he reads because he makes the books infinitely cool. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right, hold on. Let me.
Kenneth, Randy. Oh fuck! This is good podcasting.
Hold on.
I think we're past the point of trying to entertain.
No. I wanna. I'm trying to. Actually...
By the way, the last time you were here was the second week of October.
Oh yeah,
that was the last episode we recorded.
That was 2 weeks into my weight loss. Yeah, I'm 100 pounds less than that right now. This is the greatest podcasting
dude
ever.
If Andy was down here, she would know it in a heartbeat.
Why can't I remember fucking maybe that's
well, because we're also, it's not the 80s when you were diehard into 5 things.
So I'd say The first one was really good. I loved how it like set up the story and all the things.
Yeah.
My favorite book was An Unwelcome Quest. That one was the best. And I think that's because like that was like that's kind of where like Jimmy's say anything if anybody's gonna
Don't.
read it.
Yeah. Because there's
Unwelcome Quest.
It's a good character.
Unwelcome Quest was the best one, I thought.
That one felt like the most, I think, in the vein of the theme of the story.
Yeah, and I think that was the only one that like there was actually the stakes were the highest.
Well,
Like there was actually
there
things
were
to lose
stakes.
There. Yeah, there were stakes. Everywhere else is,
Yeah.
they can do whatever they want.
That book
it's all
series
fake.
has one of my all-time favorite quotes in it, and I know I'm going to butcher it because I've tried to find it and I can't find it. But Martin's mentor, is it Kenneth? Is it Keith?
No.
Anyway, so he says the killability of something, which I think was actually in that book, An Unwelcome Quest, the killability. And Martin says, is that a word? And he says, I've said it. You understood what it means. Therefore, it's a word. And I love that mindset. I love that mentality.
That's how I feel about anybody who corrects my grammar.
Yep, I'm so done with the grammar shit.
That's did you understand what I was saying? Language is a flowing thing
Yep.
that changes every second.
You know, the word ain't was only used by rich people until poor people started saying it. Yeah. And then they said, well, that's not a word. It's like, but you guys were saying that at the party last week. Yeah, but not now.
I had a professor, if you ended something with at, like where you guys at, he would yell at you.
Really?
It's like you can't end a sentence with a preposition.
Sounds
it's
like
not proper.
Sounds like a great guy to learn from and trying to grow from.
Yeah, well, he. So I went online and I researched where that came from, and it was just some guy wrote a book and just said you're not supposed to do this. It was just some guy decided it.
Yep.
And you're blindly following it.
Yep.
And I brought that up to him. And he's like, well, I don't care. It's wrong. So yeah,
That's so stupid.
It is.
I think language evolves, and I hear myself sometimes getting grumpy with like kids' words like riz. It's like, that's not a word.
What does riz mean?
Riz is like the ability to attract someone in a sexual way.
Okay. Like charisma?
Yeah, like charisma. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like you got riz. You know, like she walked in here with riz and took over the joint, you know? Yeah. Sorry, if I say yeah like that, I'm literally looking over at the volume to make sure we're still recording.
No, that's okay. I don't know a lot of. I feel like I'm like officially getting really old because I really don't get a lot of shit. I think a lot of it has to do with I don't have TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, but I think like things are rapidly moving from TikTok, and I don't know any of that.
Well,
shit.
that's true. That's true. We are living in the fastest growing era of human existence.
Well, every day is the fastest
Every day. There's an actual term for this, and I'm forgetting. But we are doubling the amount of data in existence per year. So in 2023, we doubled the amount of data that has ever been in history. In 2024, we will double what 2023 had, meaning not only what was created then, but everything that came before it. We are running out of room at a rapid pace.
I am wondering what's going to happen to the world when we get hit by a solar flare.
Well, there are scientists working on data backup, similar to how there's the seed depositories, the seed vaults, where things are kept safe from the world. The new data that's being worked on right now is liquid DNA data backups.
You told me about that.
Yeah, I've done more reading on it. I'm fascinated with it. I am so keen on learning more because, I mean, look at the human body. We can tell infinite amount of data.
I mean,
from DNA.
I mean, you could do that, but like, I wonder, you could just build a Faraday cage. And it should be able to just protect it. Like if you just put everything inside of a Faraday cage.
But what happens if it's unoperational? What happens if it breaks down? What happens if someone fucking does it on purpose? What happens if it's not big enough? What happens if it's not strong enough? A Faraday cage is only as strong as the electromagnetic pulse that is being made, correct? It is not infallible.
I thought a Faraday cage was like simply a mechanism that goes around the electronics that absorbs whatever.
But what if That's working on electromagnetic pulses, right? What if there's more? What if we are living on a planet in a solar system, in a galaxy, in a universe that we are the speck of piece of shit in a vast ocean? You know, what else is out there that we have no concept of? What chemicals have we never contemplated? An electromagnetic pulse is a thing. Cool. There's more out there than we know. It's unfathomable to even think otherwise.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, but like, why would you plan for something that's one in a trillion?
Unless it's a real thing, because we've seen it happen.
Thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's black swan type things, like the unknown unknowns.
Okay,
but I mean,
is that an actual terminology? That's not just a movie.
Black Swan.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've never heard that term before.
Yeah, there's actually a book called.
Is it based on the movie?
No,
by the great Darren Aronofsky.
That was a great movie. I like that movie.
I
think
liked it too.
A lot of people didn't like that movie.
Well, fuck them.
Darren Aronofsky's really good at
He's brilliant.
just taking a character, like a well-loved character, and just ruining them in front of everybody.
Which is why I wanted him to do RoboCop so fucking badly.
Is he?
He was supposed to be, and he backed out, and they threw in some dickhead who made the RoboCop remake. Movie sucked.
It wasn't that bad, but
it sucked
compared to there was no need for it.
Correct. We didn't have the society that the first one was. When Paul Verhoeven made RoboCop in the 80s, it was absolutely perfect fucking timing for that film to come out. Everything about that preached to capitalism, to the spread of individuality being fucking nothing but a Coke can, right? And then we saw him do Starship Troopers in the 90s, where we started seeing the encroaching mentality of fucking World War II was rising up again. Now, I don't know my military history as nearly as well as you do, but again, I think that movie came out at the perfect fucking time to wake some people up.
Well, I think no, because that's essentially like 1930s Germany is what that was based off of.
Correct.
Which is what I feel like is now.
Well,
you know a movie that's coming out now that I really want to see?
You want to see Civil War.
I want to know, like...
I am shocked that's coming out right now.
Me too.
In this era, in this wave of...
Because that's like... I think like the
social.
last time you had a movie that came out that like really could affect the world was probably like Boys in the Hood. When the Boys in the Hood came out, like... That was like there was Bloods and Crips both going to the same movie because they wanted to see it because it was about them.
You're right.
And like that was something that really landed at the right time. And I feel like now like what did they? I mean, it's obviously going to be a more left slant on the whole thing. It's also
coming from
like,
Hollywood, of course it will be.
But it's also like, is it going to be like an extremist, a right-wing extremist, like wet dream? You know, like, oh man, I can't wait to do that.
Well, that's kind of what The Purge was, and that's why I like the first Purge so goddamn much, because it left you with the question of what would you do? And that's why I personally think part 2, 3, and 4 all fucking suck, because they tell you why you're wrong for thinking the opposite of what they think.
They make you just think about what it was.
Yeah. The first one was great, man.
I like the first one.
I had so many great conversations about that afterwards, going like, would you do this?
Yeah, it was a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you?
That's the great conversation.
When I was I still remember her name, but I specifically, it was like right after the time that I watched The Purge, I was delivering, it was a few years after it, but I was delivering refrigerators in Colorado Springs. Yeah. And there was a woman that was so awful on the north end of town.
Yeah.
And I remember taking a photo of her address, and I'll never forget her name. And I just thought, like, in case the purge ever happens, I'm stopping here first. That's how awful she was.
I laugh because I know that feeling, that in that dark moment of there's no hesitation kind of question, that I'll worry about the repercussions after kind of feeling.
Like, you could do whatever you want. Like, you can get away with it. Now, the thing is like, other people can do it to you. And, like, I'm assuming...
Or family, or...
Your whole family. Like, you would probably be nicer if you thought that, like, you would get off. Now, or you could just be a complete asshole, but you could hire an army.
Which is what happens.
You could afford afford the security system.
Which is basically what the politics are now, by the way. If you want to be a politician, you have to be a millionaire. You don't get to speak for the people.
I think some do.
I think some try.
I think,
but are they going to be elected?
Tammy Duckworth in Illinois is really awesome.
Yeah.
I think she's awesome, but she can't run for president or anything because
Right.
she's a Filipino. But she lost her legs in a helicopter crash, and she loves giving it to the fucking man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Why is everybody so old that they're
Dude. Yeah.
I know. Here's the thing: is Biden our best option? No, he really isn't. But like
no.
when you put him up against Trump,
Hey, did you know Amazon? Do you remember what Amazon originally was? It was a bookstore, right?
I remember.
You buy books.
I've been an Amazon member since 2006
Okay, so
because I used to buy books there
do
when
you
I was
know
in
what
school.
Do you know what Abe Books is?
Abe?
Yeah, I've never heard about this until this weekend.
I know Abe Books.
You do?
Because I bought books on there too.
It's fucking awesome. It's Amazon.
Is what what Amazon used to be.
Yeah, it's Amazon. It's what Amazon just said. Okay, now you take over this part of the business.
Right. Yeah, because Abe Books you can do. I would rent. I would get my school books from Abe.
Okay,
you can rent them instead of going through
I didn't know
e-Follet.
that. That's amazing.
Because e-Follet can go fuck up.
If anyone's interested in ever getting textbooks, let me know. Being a professor has its advantages. If you want them digitally, let me know. I found the greatest website in history.
Oh man, I sold. Like all my architecture books, I sold a bunch to like pay for my first Boundary trip.
Yeah.
And I've since there's all these books. I've been like kind of slowly buying them all back.
Dude, Abe Books is like, I found books on there that I've been looking for. I found one that I've been looking for a while. There's only 220 of these books in existence.
How much is it? How much
It was
does it cost?
$80.
$80.
I've never seen it for under 200. Right?
No,
I haven't bought it yet. I'm just looking at it.
There's
$80.
architecture books that I have that are worth like thousands.
Yeah.
But like then they'll be selling them. Then they're not worth thousands anymore.
Well, I mean, it still is to somebody. That just because you get it for a good deal doesn't mean it's not worth it anymore.
No, like it depends on how many people are selling them.
Correct.
Like
yeah.
if there's like only 5 people selling them, then they're worth a shit.
Yeah. Right.
I have a lot of books that are worth a lot of money that are just architecture books because I guess architects still somewhat buy books.
I mean, you do, and you have a great reason for that. I love your catalog reason.
Oh yeah, it's a mapping, like a mind map.
Yeah.
Boy, that rain is really coming down, huh?
Oh, I'm hearing. I have an insane fear about rain because of my last house. Every time it rained, we got water in the basement. But if it rained hard like this, it would flash flood. And we would get like a foot, like fucking immediately. It was so shitty. So now literally every time it rains, I run down here and I get on my hands and knees and I touch all the corners. And I've never felt anything.
That was 100% your neighbor's fault.
I know. And we got it fixed, but
no, the only way to fix it was your neighbor to get rid of their deck.
They had to tear up the deck.
They did get rid of your neighbor's deck?
Oh yeah. We talked to them. We said, "Look, this has to happen." And they're like, "Well, we want to do the backyard." I'm like, "Cool, because this is what has to happen." So they had to tear up the deck. They tore off the side of the wall. They put the flashing up to 4 feet, and they put the wall all back on, and they redid their backyard. They never did anything. They just let it fucking fester. They were gross. I'm really glad we moved away.
Okay.
But
I remember meeting them one time.
They got a dog. They got a Doberman, and they were bragging to us that they were going to clip its tail and ears. And we were like, why? And they're like, because it looks cool. And I immediately fucking hated them from then on.
So those don't come clipped?
No, Dobermans have long floppy ears.
Do they?
Yes. They clip them so like dog fighting so their dogs can't grab onto them.
Stupid.
It's fucking stupid.
I heard like they clip tails because their tails break.
I've heard similar things.
Unless
I've heard
that's not true.
I've heard
also that's a baby boomer thing where like
maybe
clipping things and like cutting off cats' fingertips.
Yes. It's fucked up. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. So speaking of fucked up, I'm actually super excited to talk about this. I don't leave the house very much, John. Mostly from the past 2 months, it's been because of work.
Yeah.
Work has been good, but I'm a movie collector. I like the weird movies, right? Mm-hmm. So the companies coming out with these movies, releasing them, not making them, but releasing them. They're called Boutique Blu-ray. Okay.
Is this the name of the
No.
company that's releasing them, or this is what this type of thing is
That's
called?
the type of thing.
Okay.
So Boutique Blu-ray is a company that releases a limited edition, high quality disc.
What
of
is
a
this
movie.
like? Is this like with like a? What's the other big one that does this?
So the big ones are like Criterion.
That's what I'm thinking. Criterion.
Kino Lorber, Warner Archive, Vinegar Syndrome, AGFA, like the list goes on and on. So there's a company that came out, I would say 4 years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, called Terror Vision.
I've heard of this.
Terror Vision is a sub-label of a company called Graveface Records. Okay? Graveface makes music, which is really kind of cool because after I dug deep into like what kind of music do they make, it's whatever the guy who owns the company is into. And he has his fingers in like all the music, which is really kind of cool. And he's not trying to do it to make money. He's doing it because he really loves fucking making music and he likes being able to help other people get shit out there. A lot of it's like dream pop, shoegaze, retro wave, shit like that, right?
Okay.
There's a band on the record label.
Is it on the West Coast?
No, it's in Savannah, Georgia,
Okay.
a block away from where I used to live.
Cool.
Yeah, little fucking weird. Dude was born and raised in Chicago, moved to Savannah, a block away from where I used to live, opened his shop like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Obviously, we never saw it. But then, John, dude opened up a store in Chicago.
Yeah.
So I had to go.
Cool. Tell me about it.
It was fucking awesome. I had no idea it existed, and it's been open for like 2 years now. So it's a record store. From the outside, it looks like a punk record store. Like it's like handwritten sign, shit like that. It's really cool. And you go inside, and there's like, it's like an old wooden kind of cafe feel where it's like, you feel like you're in a Chicago coffee house that doesn't care about Wi-Fi.
Okay.
It's like you're there to enjoy the fucking coffee, not sit around and work, Mm-hmm. So when I say cafe, I mean like that's the feeling. So the front room is the record room. Okay. They have records, like all kinds of records, and then they have their own records. They have cassette tapes. They have lots of cassette tapes, brand new cassette tapes. Under Terror Vision's record label, they're releasing old movie soundtracks like The Guyver, Toxic Avenger. What else did I see there? Leanna Quigley's workout album. Just tons and tons of old movies, right? And that's all the records. In the next room are the movies. So of course, I make a B fucking line to the movies, and they have a decent selection. Like if you're really big into the culture of boutique Blu-ray, there's nothing there that's gonna like make you go like, holy shit. But if you're relatively new into it, it's like a fucking gold mine, right? And then they have the Terror Vision section, so just their movies on Blu-ray and VHS. And it's just so fucking cool to see something like this when I have to track it down online. It's like, this isn't something you can go to a store and just buy these movies. You have to go to specific websites just to buy the movie you're looking for. So I'm geeking out over everything. I'm finding all this cool stuff. They have Ghana movie posters. Have you ever seen the movie posters made by Ghanan artists?
I've seen movies that were made in Ghana.
Okay, yeah,
They're
okay.
amazing.
Imagine that kind of level of insanity put to acrylic paint.
Like 1990s CGI effects.
Kind of. So we bought one, and it's upstairs in our living room. You got to look at it before you leave. Of Deadly Prey. And it's just chaos upon chaos, and I love it. So we're talking to the guys there. We're having a great fucking time. And there's a museum in the back. And part of the museum I wanted to see. The other part I had zero interest in. And the museum is basically a short tour of oddities and curiosities. And then the basement holds the old movies that the store was originally before Graveface took over. It was a video rental place, like a dude's own collection, and you could just rent them. And that was not as impressive as I was expecting it to be.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking.
But the museum is worth every fucking penny. It's $10 to get in. And how do I explain this? It's like the first hallway is all circus freaks. It's actual photos, not reprints of photos, but like photos, like Polaroids almost, from the 1930s, from this family of traveling circus freaks, where they started to like market themselves as this, and they started to become a business of this.
I wonder if it was Barnum and Bailey.
This was more of a privatized thing, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, all this stuff was donated to this museum, right? And there's all these like handwritten letters, and like I got photos. Hold on, you got to see some of this shit. There are comics, hand-drawn comics
From the 1930s?
from the 1930s, from the freaks. Scroll to, and it like there's other photos in there, but like there's all this
These
like
are like the actual drawings.
yes, yeah, everything there is real. There's nothing there that's a reprint. So when I get into the next part of this story, it's going to become a little cooler. Okay, so this whole alleyway, this whole little hallway,
What neighborhood is this in?
it's right off of Wicker Park. It's right outside of Wicker Park. I think it's in Bucktown. Oh, wrong way. Sorry. So, yeah, it keeps going for a while. I did not take any photos of the Satan room. I really wish I would have.
Okay.
So after you get out, like there's all this stuff, right? Like all these letters, and what you learn. Do you remember the movie from 1933, Freaks?
Yeah.
Gooble gobble, one of us.
Terrifying.
So
One of us.
most of that movie was shot in one weekend. During the 1933 World Fair, the director invited all these freaks from around the country just to come and be a part of what they were doing, right? Just to be seen and be heard. And the owner of this was Alligator Boy. I don't know if you've ever heard of Alligator Boy, but that was like the owner of this whole troupe. And him and the bearded lady, like the original beautiful bearded lady, they got married, and they had, like a family of freaks, and they invite all these people, and they would just film them at the World's Fair. And then he would put those clips into his movies like Freaks.
Like that was how the movie Freaks was made?
Yeah. There's actually plot in there made other words, like other ways. It's not like the whole film was just made of that. But yeah, a lot of those clips are made from the 1933 World Fair. So, but it has like letters in there inviting people to come to do this and things like that, right? So after you get out of this hallway, then like it's the occult section. There's cult and the occult. Cult is like Jamestown kind of stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. The occult was, here is the Anton LaVey stuff. Hand typed on a typewriter, hand drawn images of newsletters Anton LaVey would send out. Anton LaVey was the head of the Satanic Church, and they had a robe from Anton LaVey.
Like the Anton LaVey?
Yes, and they have all this stuff, and everything has been donated, okay, through their personal collections or people who just don't want it anymore, to Graveface, the owner. Ryan Graveface is the owner. And in Chicago, apparently Chicago is like 1/20th the size of the museum in Savannah. And the Savannah one is 1/20th the size of the shit that's in storage still. One of the guys there, he was just talking with us. Like he grew up in Savannah, so we had a lot to talk about. And then he was really into hip hop and metal. And I'm like, oh my God, let's keep talking about this. And he would just walk around with us and telling us all these fucking cool stories about all these little nuggets of the history. And there's just so much cool shit. I wish I could just rattle off all this stuff, but there's so much stuff in there that you're being bored. So as you leave, there's a jail cell right before the exit. And inside, I don't know if you got that far into the photos or not. Yep. Inside, and you might have to zoom in a little bit.
Oh, wow. That's John Wayne Gacy.
That's the entire room is John Wayne Gacy letters, paintings, and criminal activity FBI paperwork.
Holy shit.
There was even an order form on there from prison where you could order your own hand-painted pogo or hand-painted Seven Dwarves. And he would churn these out in his jail cell, and he made money. This is before the law came out that said prisoners can't make money. So he would do this and pay for his own legal team. That's why he stayed in prison for 11 years. So there's all this shit in here, right? Like this right here, these are letters to young boys while he's in prison, grooming them.
Have you read those?
I did, and
They're fucking dark as shit.
I had to stop halfway through.
I've read things that he's done because I saw like other documentaries about him. That dude is fucked in the head, man.
Yes, but a lot of Seven Dwarfs paintings. He was really into Disney. Apparently, so his grandma loved taking him to the movies, and that's like the bond he had. But his dad was like deathly against it. So anyway. It was fucking creepy. Like,
what's the name of the place again?
It's called Graveface Records.
Okay.
The museum to get like you can get into the store just fine, but if you get into the museum, it's $10, and it is so beyond worth it. And the first time you look at everything, you're like, cool, but then there's like little hand typed, like they're not framed or anything, but just notes on the wall that say like what this is and what's the importance of it. And it's so fucking cool.
That is cool.
It's so cool. And I was told something in confidence, so I'm not allowed to talk. I'll tell you off the.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Like it's fucking cool. So if you're in Chicago, it is definitely worth going. And right across the street is a '90s style pizzeria.
What's a '90s style?
Yeah, so that's how they advertise themselves: is an '80s, '90s pizzeria.
So red plastic cups.
That's the
red
only.
checkered.
That's the only thing. The red plastic cups. But then they had modern pop art of like Superman and Harley Quinn, and there's an arcade. There's like an arcade box in the back, and when they hand you the bill, it's on a Nintendo cartridge, but nothing really feels 80s, 90s.
I remember what an 80s, 90s pizzeria feels like.
Yeah, the pizza was good though.
Was it?
Yeah. What's like your first one that you're gonna have? Like what combination are you like
of pizza
dying to have? Yeah. Because you said you wanted wings. That was the first thing you want when
I want
when
wings. I wanted to do hot wings and beer, specifically
Yeah.
something from like Nuclearis, like a spotted cow.
Yep.
But I think I'll just grill at my house.
Yeah?
I'll just grill some wings at my house and like,
Really?
get like a 6-pack or something.
Okay.
'Cause then I know like what I can go on it. I was talking with Nick a few days ago, and he's like, "You do realize," because Nick was starting to go on the diet that I was on. He's like, well, his own version of it. And he was telling me like, you know, he was on the diet for like 3 weeks, and then he just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna eat whatever I want," and like got like awful diarrhea.
Oh.
And then him and I were talking, and I don't know if I want to like hop off this diet and just instant diarrhea.
Well, for you, I don't think you'll get the diarrhea right away. I think it'll be more cataclysmic.
Instantly shit your pants. So I know
But,
like if I just make like if I'm just making wings and I can just do it myself and I know what goes in there,
Okay.
it might be a little bit easier.
That's smart.
So I'll do that. And
So what's your first pizza? What's like, you've had the wings, you've had the beer, you tailed off a little bit. Your next cheat day is going to be.
so my pizza is sausage and black olives. And ever since like you said that you don't put sauce on pizza, I've been doing that too.
Really?
Yeah, sausage and black olive with no sauce. If they got good sauce, then I won't do it. But
Yeah.
like most places, I don't like sauce.
I'm not a fan either. If it's thin sauce, I don't mind it. Like if it's just a little bit.
I don't like the sweet sauce. Like if it's like a really hearty sauce,
Yeah.
then I don't mind it. But like that stuff where they add the sauce, I don't know.
If I can taste the tomatoes, I am grossed out.
Yeah, I mean I like tomatoes, and I like I like that sauce.
Well, especially now.
What do you put on your pizza?
My pizza is almost the exact same thing every time now. Sauceless. If they have the option for double dough, I like double dough because I like a more chewy kind of dough, but it has to be like crispy on the outside. Normal mozzarella, onions, garlic as possible. Like I like
Minced
garlic cloves.
Minced garlic. Is awesome.
Minced is great, but if they have the cloves,
I don't know if I've ever had
layer my pizza up with cloves.
Yeah.
I will eat as much garlic as you can take. Banana peppers or jalapenos, usually places have one or the other, and then bacon. And then Mike's hot honey. That's my right there.
That's your jam.
That's my jam.
I think I'll probably, I don't know, maybe getting like margarita pizzas in the future would probably go.
I think for you, definitely.
Yeah, margarita pizzas would be good, and I really like wood fired. That one place that was in town,
yeah.
it was fucking amazing. I loved it. Now they're gone, which
Wait,
sucks.
who? Oh, the one downtown.
Yeah, we had the wood fired one downtown. Then they went to St. Charles for a little while, and now they're not even there.
They're few and far. Like pizza places, the wood fired pizza are few and far between.
We have like a Weber grill that you can get an insert, so you can get the pizza stone.
Right.
I think I'm gonna get that so I can make wood fired pizzas.
This is wild. Like you're turning into like totally self-sufficient. Like we were talking before the show, you want to make your own oatmeal.
Well, I mean, like I'm not gonna like mill the oats or anything. Like you could just buy.
I'm not gonna fucking farm.
No, I'm not gonna. Actually, I do want to grow stuff in the backyard. I've been looking up like raised beds and everything. Like, dude, I priced out the cost for raised beds. You can get like the metal raised beds way cheaper.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like our wood one.
I don't want it to. And yours looks like it's.
Well,
it isn't. Yours like right up against the house.
No, we're about 2 feet off. 2 feet off from one thing, and then like 8 feet the other way.
There's a way that I want to do it that I saw where you can, if you put in a layer of stone, and then
for drainage.
Well, I mean, if you put in a layer of stone and you put a drainage tile in there, like essentially the big tube with the holes in it.
Yeah, right.
And you just run that in the tile, and then you throw the dirt all on top of that. And you probably want to put down like some sort of like a landscape fabric. Then you put your dirt on top. You just like take a hose and put it in the tube, and you have to line the whole thing with plastic. So you're essentially creating a big bathtub.
Yeah.
Right. So all you gotta do is like water once a week, and the water wicks up.
No, which is the best way to water.
Which is, I think, the best way to water. Because
Yeah.
I think like my first like time out of the gate was last year when we got that really bad drought.
Yeah, dude, that sucked.
And like I planted that stuff, and a week later the drought happened. So I had to go out there and like water constantly just so they wouldn't die.
Right.
And all the growth of everything was stunted. Like
Yeah.
all my peppers the plants only got to be like 8 inches, and then they get these full plants. And then like now all my peppers are just laying on the ground.
Yep.
If I could just like get the hose and just fill it up, like I'm not wasting anything. I was just wasting water.
Now the problem with that though is depth of the soil. You still have to have deep soil.
Exactly, which is why you get the planter bed.
Well, how high is it though?
I figure if you have like 4 inches of stone and then go like another 12 inches, like you're not going to get too many things that's about a foot and a half.
I'm not very good at this.
A little bit lower. I mean, like I think.
Is that enough?
I think like 1 foot of root system should probably work. It'll spread out.
You are right. I'm trying to think like when we pull up our big boys at the end of the year, you get a cluster of roots like that big, and they're all like crazy, but they're not very deep. That's a good point.
Yeah. So I think I want to do that. And I priced out I had like this really nice way of doing it. And I designed a raised bed, and I was going to do like a stained cedar to match our fence in the house.
Very
I had the whole
nice,
idea for
yeah.
it. Like the total cost to do everything would be like $2,000.
What? Dude, ours was like 200.
Yeah, I know. So but you can buy like the rounded,
I know what you're talking about.
Rounded ones for like $40.
Yeah.
And they're like 2 feet by like 4 feet or 2 feet by 6. I think I'm going to just.
Well, and then metal will hold in heat too, which is better for your soil.
Just the metal in general. The other thing was like, if I stain it, or if you buy the treated stuff, you're gonna get like the treatment in the food. The metal, I'm not worried about.
I see that on every YouTube channel where it's like you can't treat your wood. You can't do this to your wood. And it's like, it just seems like overkill. Like I am not an organic food person, so I am not going to make that argument on that.
Pressure treated lumber's got some pretty wonky chemicals. Like there's like arsenic and shit like that in there.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So I don't want it.
My shit's basically based on my own little misconceptions of. I got untreated wood. I did the whole what's it called, the raw sea sealer, the good sealer, the non-chemical sealer. I got to do that again.
If I get the metal, nothing has to be sealed.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I'm not gonna have to replace it.
You could paint it too. That'll look nice.
Or if I really wanted to, I could finish. I could like I could clad it in wood if I really want to.
Yeah, that seems way more expensive though.
Well, no, I mean, no, it actually would be cheaper because now it's not going to be load bearing. So as opposed to me doing if I wanted stained cedar,
Yeah.
instead of me paying for like a 2x, I'd be only paying for a 1x. Okay. So now we're talking like, as opposed to like $12 for like an 8-footer, now we're talking like $1.20.
Okay. Okay.
And then like it's just cheaper, but that's just merely just looks.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Is really all it would be, but it's if you even want to. And maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But I was looking into getting like in addition to what we did last year, I want to add tomatillos. Dude, tomatillos. My neighbor gave me a whole
you told me that,
full of tomatillos, and we made our own salsa.
Yeah.
So I love to grow my own tomatillos, and I think I want to do like berries, like raspberries or blueberries.
We started raspberries last year because it takes about a year for them to root.
Unless you get one that's
it's mature.
So how did that work out for you?
We're still waiting.
Or it does the shoots, right? And you got to clip off the shoots at the end of the year.
Yep. So it grew like fucking crazy. We got maybe like 8 raspberries from the year, but we weren't expecting any.
Okay.
Clipped it down, and then this year we added we're gonna add some, I think, acidity to the soil because I think berries really need acidity. I have everything written down, so I don't just do off the cuff with this. But this year we're hoping for that one to.
You have a trellis for that?
I don't yet,
and I want to do that. I want to build a trellis for it.
You're gonna build one. That's nice.
I'll get a trellis for it, and I want to build a trellis for the cucumbers too. I saw that. That looks awesome.
Get them the fuck off the ground.
Yeah, 'cause slugs ruined all my cucumbers last year.
I forgot about this. Talk about this because we never had slugs. We have grubs.
We got both,
but I don't think we've had slugs.
We had slugs all over the place and grubs all over the place. If I can get that shit off the ground, I'll be very happy. And I'll just build a little A-frame and pull all those things. And I was waiting.
Make sure it's sturdy.
Long. What's that?
Make sure it's sturdy. Cucumbers get so big.
2x and bolts. And everything put in.
All right. So you don't just want to hammer some dowel rods into the soil,
some quarters, dowel rods,
tie some string to the top.
These dowel rods and duct tape just aren't doing the trick. I really want to do cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
I love cherry tomatoes. The ones that we got from you last year, the tomatoes were a centimeter.
What? Ours did so well.
They were only a centimeter. So they were so small. If you go to pick them, they would pop in your hand.
Speaking as someone who doesn't like tomatoes,
very good.
Yeah.
I know.
Speaking as someone who doesn't like tomatoes, get a Krim, Krim. Holy
Krim tomato.
Fuck, are they good? We got a Russian black Krim, and then we had a Russian black Prince, and they're the best things I've ever had. If I'm dying for Andy to make sauce from this, so I can have pizza the way everyone else enjoys pizza.
With the sauce.
With the sauce, yeah.
Did you do the seed swap this year?
No, because we looked at it.
Yeah.
You mentioned it to me.
Yeah, I was really excited about you to go because I wanted to.
Me too. So. And then we read the website. You had to register a week in advance. Mm-hmm. We learned about it the day before or the day of, or no, the day before. So we couldn't go. And 3 people went, and you had to bring stuff to trade.
How do you know 3 people went?
Because that's what the website said.
3 people this year.
No, you had to register, and 3 people were registered.
So they only had 3 people for the whole event?
I apparently so.
Right. Why would they only say 3 people? Nobody
I don't know.
Nobody celebrates their fails.
No, they wouldn't say it, but that's what the website said. You had to register, and on the registry there were only 3 people registered.
Something right.
Probably. But literally,
would you be interested in it next year?
I would love to. I would love to check this out.
I want to do that too. I've been hearing about seed swaps for a long time.
Yeah.
And it seems I think I started hearing about seed swaps for tomatoes specifically because there's a lot of heirloom tomatoes some people have had.
I don't know the etiquette though. Do you have to come pre-built in packages so you hand out the package?
That's a good point. I don't know.
I have a fuck ton of those, by the way, if you ever need any. I bought them in bulk to do our garden because I harvest the seeds after each harvest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I have a ton of them. I probably have 500.
We're gonna a little bit ago, I was talking about I want to do a shed.
Yeah.
We were going to have a greenhouse lean-to up again.
Oh my! I want a greenhouse so badly.
And for that reason, like,
Yeah.
I can get like my own seeds and everything.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm like getting really into like growing shit and everything. It seems really cool.
It's
I did it
fun.
all the time when I was younger.
Did
with
you?
My dad. Yeah, I did it with my dad all the time. He always grew like same shit every year. He'd have like zucchini, cucumber, tomatoes, peppers. Yeah, we always like had something growing up. So it was just a normal thing. I guess I've always had jobs that were just so busy since I've like moved to Elgin,
Right.
that I couldn't do it. But like this year was the first year. Like now that my back feels better and everything, I can do so much more.
Oh my God, dude! This summer is going to be mind-blowingly different. You're going to have so much more fun being out there.
We planted all sorts of stuff like trees and everything. In the fall, we went around and like this is what Heather and I are like going to do this every year. Like at the end of the year, we're just gonna buy shrubs and bushes. We would just drive from like Home Depot to Menards to Lowe's all over the place on their fall sales because everybody just wants to get rid of their trees.
Right.
We're buying like $150 trees for like $30.
Holy shit! Good find.
Yeah, like $250 trees. These are like $250 trees that
Oh
we're
my
getting.
God.
Because we're getting like the really, it's the leftover stuff. But like if you want to give it a little TLC,
Exactly.
we got like a weeping blue spruce. That's normally like a $250 tree. We got we got one weeping blue spruce, two other blue spruces, a red bud, a red maple, a bunch of arborvitaes.
I like those.
A bunch of some globe bushes, just stuff all over the place. Planted them all and everything, and I was able
Wow.
to do it. And again, when we were talking about this before, when I started my diet, like because it's an anti-inflammatory diet, like it fixed my back in just 2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
I was able to dig like 12 holes in the ground that were like 3 feet deep.
That's incredible.
And like literally like 2 weeks prior, I couldn't stand for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm shocked how well
Yeah. Like you're a poster child for this.
my doctor loves seeing
No, I fucking bet.
because she said like usually, when she talks to people, it's usually like a lot of bad news and people saying how oh, the diet isn't working or always giving like,
Are they holding true to the diet though?
and you never know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that because diet's hard. And people, I don't know, people lie to themselves.
Of course they do.
Or they're embarrassed for why they gained the weight.
We do. Yeah.
They're embarrassed for why they gain the weight, and they'll lie and they'll just give excuses. I don't know. I ate the exact same. I mean, to an extent, I've hit like plateaus that have lasted too.
Yeah.
And I've eaten this, but like there's always ways to run. I ended up finding out what that is. It's like the weirdest thing. I could eat the same thing every day and like I'll barely lose weight. But if I walk for like 20 minutes, I'll lose like a pound.
Really?
It's the craziest thing. And and I don't want to say like that'll work for anybody, but
Well, everyone's different.
everyone's different. But like it's something and I would told you I do like the rowing machine.
Yeah. Right.
Like when I do the rowing machine, I don't lose weight. It's only when I walk.
Walking?
Only slowly walking. Like that whole you ever seen like the Orange Theory stuff? Or like if you
I know what it
if
is.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like your
yeah.
heart rate is not in the cardio mode, but the weight loss mode. Like if I'm just walking at
no.
a certain pace, it's like my body switches from the food that I ate to body fat. And it says we're going to take it from this pile as opposed to this. At least that's for me.
Okay.
And even like my doctor says like I can tell that's just started walking a little bit. I don't walk a lot, like 20 minutes, and not even every day.
Yeah.
Just a few times a day. It just burns body.
A few times a day.
No, I'm sorry, a few times a week.
Oh, okay. You're like, I don't do it every day, just a few times a day.
Sorry. Yeah, just a few times a week. I'll do it like three times a week maybe.
Okay. See, like to me, like that's not as daunting as you have to work out every day.
I never work out.
That's like an instant shut down my gate kind of mentality,
I don't have to work out. It's just
Well, because you're eating healthy and you're not just eating light, you're eating to be on a very specific diet. Your diet is very specific.
my doctor didn't want me to even exercise until I lost the first 50 pounds.
Right.
Because she said, I don't want you exercising and screwing up your diet. I want you to get your diet down.
Yeah.
And then you figure it out. But like when I've always just exercised. I remember when I talked to last year, I actually paid like a trainer. We gave her like hundreds of dollars. And all I did was just like get hurt and eventually just get.
Sounds like high school.
That's all that it was. I mean, I mean, she's when you're a handler.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
oh yeah, you gotta exercise. You gotta do all these things. No, I don't. I don't have to do anything. I eat healthy. Just eat clean, healthy food, and it's just coming off.
I'm glad you found this because I think not only is it good for your physical health, I think more importantly, it's good for your mental side.
Well, I am tired all the time. We were talking about that before.
Yeah.
Fucking pooped. I'm not eating all the I can't wait to I don't even know what maintenance is, but I know I'm in the weight loss phase now. I got to hit the maintenance phase, whatever that is.
Is that just
what the fuck does maintenance mean? I don't even know. Dude, I don't even know.
Is that just until you hit that 225 limit?
Yeah, as soon as I hit the 225 limit,
then I'm gorging on hot wings.
Then I'm going to gorge myself on hot wings.
Gotcha.
No, then as soon as I hit 225, I'm going to be taking a DNA test for this thing, and they're like,
DNA test?
Yeah, the DNA test is gonna. It beeped, by the way.
Oh, that's that's fine.
I got to take a DNA test that'll kind of help me with my diet a little bit. But then I think I have to maintain my weight for weeks.
Okay,
and then I'm done.
Wow.
But I don't know, you got to tweak that or you got to figure it out. I have no idea.
I don't think there's a set rule. Granted, I know nothing about your diet, but I think any kind of maintenance is a trial and error, whatever that maintenance is. I run maintenances on my fucking hard drives.
Yeah, and it's trial and error.
It's all trial and error.
I don't know what it's like to just remain at one weight. Usually I just shove food in until I'm happy.
You say that jokingly because it was true at one time.
Yeah.
But moving forward, that's not an option anymore.
No. That's why I'm saying, I don't know what this even means. I even asked her. I was like, I don't know what you want. She just says, don't worry about it until we get there.
I mean, that makes sense because otherwise you're just going to run yourself ragged trying to figure it out before it's even an option.
I don't know. That's what's going on now.
I'm glad, man. How's work?
It's good.
All right, there's enough of that shit.
I know. I'm working on a famous building in Peoria right now.
A famous building? Are you allowed to talk about it?
Yeah. It's there's a handful of super famous architects in the world. So for architecture, they have the Academy Award of Architecture is called the Pritzker Prize.
I think you've talked about that before.
Pritzker's only one person a year has ever won it. It's awarded to one person every year, and if you make it, you're world famous star architect.
Okay, you're building this up.
And the one I'm working on is Philip Johnson is the first person to ever win this award. It's in Peoria. And I'm working on that.
Wait, you're working on his building?
Yeah.
What's the name of the building?
We're just doing a renovation to the outdoor plaza there.
What's the name of the building?
It's in Peoria. The Peoria Civic Center.
Civic. All right. You're Peoria. Look at the Peoria building in Peoria.
Sorry.
I think we get so caught in our own world. Sometimes it's hard to talk down.
Right now, I have to build the whole thing in 3D, and it has to be. Yeah, that's actually the front part of the building. The part that I'm working on is the back part with the walkway. No, it don't look it. Peoria Civic Center.
Is that it?
No.
I'm gonna do the.
I think that's the front of the building. Where I'm working is the back of the building.
I'm gonna do the UHF thing, where the blind guy is talking to the homeless guy with the Rubik's cube. Is this it?
That's the inside of it.
Is this it?
That's the inside of it.
Is this it?
That's the inside of it. I'm very proud that I showed Heather UHF. She saw it for the first time.
Yeah.
When I was watching with her, she was just flat. She loves those movies.
Get the fuck out!
Dude, she loves goofy, stupid movies.
I'm so jealous. Okay.
Oh my God, she loves it. Black Dynamite, she loves Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
She loves I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
I love that. Yeah.
She loves all of those silly movies. 80s. If it's an 80s action stupid movie, she loves it.
Dude, that's our bread and butter.
I know she loves it. She loves Die Hard. She forced me to go see Die Hard in the theater.
Goddamn right.
I was so tired.
I watched a couple movies that you need to see.
Okay.
Lieutenant Jangles. For
Bojangles?
For the 7 people who will listen to this podcast, do me the favor and fucking find Lieutenant Jangles.
Where would one find this?
I'm going to be real fucking honest right now. I hate when people ask me that. That is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Why?
because it's not my fucking job to tell you where to find something.
Then I don't want to watch it anymore. Dude, there is a finite amount of time in the world and way too much content.
Yeah.
And knowing you, where you're like, oh, I had to go in a fucking back alley and push Mugwise out of the way to find this thing. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So
and you're going to get like your panties in a bunch.
I did have to do that. I had to witness a little furry thing say "Bye, Billy" to me.
Yes.
It was released on a boutique Blu-ray company called ETR.
Yeah.
Then fucking find me. I will give you it. I will happily give you a copy.
Is it? So here, let me ask this.
Yeah.
Is it like an old 80s movie or is this
No.
this is brand new?
It's supposed to feel like an old 80s movie.
Okay.
It is Australian. It is weird. I can't describe it, John. It's very much in your vein of movies. There's a shootout in the beginning and everyone's hiding behind plastic garbage cans. And the bullets are ricocheting off the plastic garbage cans. And they're obviously holding toy guns with effects. And the main guy's partner gets shot in the dick and his dick gets blown off and that kills him. And he just stands in the street holding his partner's dick like, Dickens, your dick! Your dick! It has some of the greatest fucking lines, but there's like I learned recently about comedy too, that quoting comedy is not good comedy. If you can just walk away from something that you enjoyed, just quoting it, that's not good comedy. It may be good for you. You may enjoy it, but it's because you went through the process of learning that character's arc, watching their trials and tribulations. So in that moment, wherever that moment was in the movie, that moment was great. It was funny as shit because you were in that story with them. But if you try and tell me a quote from a movie I've never seen,
and you have no context,
and I have no context,
and you've ruined that movie for everybody,
that's terrible comedy. That's not good comedy. So I want to quote this fucking movie all goddamn day, and I can't because there is no context, and it's dumb to do it. So anyway, back on track. Lieutenant Jangles, motherfucker, watch this movie. If you and Heather want to come over, it'll be a great fucking movie night, and then we'll watch a great movie like Champagne and Bullets.
I'll be down.
Okay. The second movie that came out in 2020, I had never heard of it, and I'm pissed I had never heard of it because it was foundationally beautifully. It is called Dinner in America. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
Dinner in America is... Do you remember when Napoleon Dynamite came out and you were watching it for the first time and you went, I have never seen anything like this.
It changed comedy.
And it changed comedy. And it was very like esoteric. It was very like taking you out of what's funny before and doing something that's not funny. But because of the way they did it, it was hilarious.
You felt like you were laughing at real people, and you felt guilty for it.
There was definitely the cringe factor, yeah. But there was also like the solidarity watching Napoleon Dynamite. You're like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to throw lasagna at a llama, but I kind of get it.
Tina.
Like, you know? So this movie, Dinner in America, is that same line of thinking. It's like what Napoleon Dynamite made me feel. So when I say that, don't think it's going to be in the humor vein of Napoleon Dynamite. It's doing its own thing. It's a hyper real world. And you can't explain too much without giving too much away, but there's not like a lot to give away. Basically, a guy who's just fucking angry as all hell is trying to find drugs and not be caught by the cops and trying to just live his life. And everyone around him is a turned up to 11 cliche of what they are trying to be. So the horny housewife is fucking in really uncomfortably horny when they meet, okay? The jocks who pick on the nerd are like really, really insensitive to the nerd. The nerd is so obliquely oblivious to everything around them. You know, there's like everything is cranked up. So when there's dialogue or conversation, that's cranked up. Nothing is ever done in moderation. And it is fucking beautiful because of it.
I want to see this.
It is awesome.
Where can I see this?
I don't know. Fucking find it. Google it, you son of a bitch.
I've already forgot the name of the movie.
Dinner in America. And what's really cool is that there is dinner throughout the whole movie. And every time there is dinner, it is a different caste system of American lifestyle. It's really clever. It's oddly, it's very well thought out. Like you're going to watch it and be entertained. And at the same time afterwards, you're going to think, oh, fuck, there's a lot more deeper shit going on here. It was really well done. It was really well done. And I'm upset that it took me 3 years to hear about it.
Well, now I want to see it. I just don't know where.
This is why I just have the server at home, man.
And I don't know what to do. There was a few movies or a few short films that I sent you.
Yeah.
One of them being Sock Baby.
So
now, did you look into that at all?
So hold on. Let's start the main topic of tonight's episode. Yes. Let's no, I did not look into Sock Baby. And by the way, keep me on target for time.
Okay.
If you gotta go.
So Sock Baby is all it is just like a short 5-minute film.
Yeah.
So looking into it, that was part of a whole series of other films that was done on something called Channel 101.
Oh, 101. That was Channel 101.
That's Channel 101.
Oh, I hear about Channel 101 all the fucking time.
So Dan Harmon and all his guys were the
Yeah.
ones that started Channel 101,
Right.
which is just a little 5-minute film festival that they did like a quarter of a century ago.
Yeah.
Which is crazy as shit that it was that long ago.
Right.
But like how fun, early 2000s.
That just hurt my head a little bit.
I know, right? Quarter of a century when you put it that way.
Oh my God. That was 99.
Yeah. So when you have like, they're just like, how did I never know any of this stuff? I never knew about Channel 101. No. I think when it was really big, I was in the military and I think I missed out on a lot of like 2000s America.
I've heard about it for years, but I've never watched it.
So I watched that and the other one, the space, the space whatever. They're so funny. They're so easily done. I'm not going to 100% say easily.
Yeah.
Because I know like the Space Baby, you can see that there's like really good choreography there.
The
but like
Sock Baby.
or Sock Baby.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just funny dialogue.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easily done. They just take like makeup you could get at a Spirit Halloween.
Yes.
And
You're
like
talking production
suits.
value.
I am talking it's super cheap production value,
Yeah.
but super high writing
Yes.
and super clever writing because
Yes.
it's silly smart.
It is.
Because it was a really awesome 70s. It was a noir / 70s spoof. And the writing was
Wait,
and
which
it was
one?
Fucking off the wall.
Which
silly.
one was a noir?
The Sock Baby.
I felt Sock Baby was more of
More 70s, but it was noir in there too.
I felt it was like an
'Cause
Italian
you could see
post-apocalyptic.
The way that the robot dude who's just wearing like shoulder pads that he probably got to play against sport.
Yeah.
Is just wearing it, and it was like a noir that like flipped over to like 70s action film. Just random weird dialogue that they would say. Wearing nuts in your pants is cool, and then they just start fighting. It's so fucking crazy. But the one that had Dan Harmon in it
And Justin Roiland.
Yeah, the beginnings of Rick and Morty was sitting right there.
Yeah.
Was just them fucking around on a couch. There was zero production
I'm
value
aware.
there.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Yeah, zero production value.
I had
And it
issues
was
with
funny
that
as
one.
shit.
I didn't think that one was nearly as good as the first one.
Well, that's because you're an elitist.
No, I think it's because when they broke, like when you break character,
And they kept it in.
but no, it's not just that. Like that I wouldn't mind, but it felt sloppy instead of clever. Like if they would have like cut in the middle of a sentence when like Dan broke and he's obviously like, what the fuck was, if they would have cut like right there, I thought that would have been more funny, but they just kept it going.
Yeah, but that was the point of it. Like that is Rick and Morty. It's just like it's just shit fucking up, and they just kept going anyway.
I agree.
Like I don't even know.
Yeah. I mean,
they just keep playing it through.
It was entertaining.
And again, and meta. That was meta as fuck.
So
Meta started rearing its head in the mid-2000s.
Which brings us to what you and I were talking about this morning. Do you want to do this?
So I looked into like, and the thing is like I almost just want to make. I just want to make something.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I'm showing you this is like I don't want anything with high production value.
I get it.
I don't want anything that's going to be hard. I don't want anything that's going to take me beyond a day. I just want 5 minutes of something funny to do.
Okay.
And just so people know, what I sent Jay was, what if we had a 5-minute film festival in Elgin of the Buttertown Film Festival? We could even connect it to Side Street Studio if we ever like got it more off the ground. But like, how do you convince? Like, you got to know people that would just be willing to just throw a 5-minute something together. It's 5 minutes.
I would go for less than 5 minutes. I would give a range rather than a target. You know, give me a minute to 5 minutes. 5 minutes max, but it can be 1 minute.
Do you ever see like the 5-second films?
Yeah, they were fucking great.
Those were fucking genius.
But that was all writing. If the writing wasn't there, I mean, the delivery was great, but the writing made that.
If we had like a 1-minute film festival,
yeah,
I would love that.
I would too.
And I've already started looking at.
I like your rules for the film festival too. It doesn't have to be good. It has to be done.
And I already started looking at like editing stuff from my phone because I don't even want to use all the other shit. I just want to use my phone.
Okay.
I just want it to be something that I could do.
Okay.
And it would be something I could do at my house. I literally have like toys in my office that I could do an entire movie with.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's good. It just has to be done.
There was a movie in the 90s called Empire Strikes Back by George Lucas, age 9.
Yes, and it was amazing.
It was fucking hilarious. It was Empire Strikes Back done with the toys. It was hilarious. It was great. So yeah, I mean, you could definitely do this. I am on board to do this.
Do you think we could get?
The problem is then we start thinking.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, how do you get other people involved?
Exactly.
Is anybody listening?
No.
Hold on. It's 60 seconds. You could do it with your phone. If it was a 60-second film festival, you could literally just like, you could film for a little while and just throw something together, biggity bam, it's done. Remember, it doesn't have to be good. It just has to be done. Now I'm going to ask you, Jay, I started looking already. What do you feel is the best film editing for a phone? Or that's how
it's not my realm, but I've heard people talk about Filmora.
Filmora.
Filmora. Truth be told, that's all I know about it right there. I am on the other side of this conversation.
You want to make something good?
No. Always. But I am all for making the cheap shit. I am all for making something fun and funny. But what I know about the technology, I don't know the lower ends. You know, like if people come to ask me like, what's a good camera for $300? I have no fucking clue, you know, because everything I have or work with starts at $3,000 or $4,000. So it's like, I don't know what the free options are.
Well, then we could just leave it up to people. Film it however you want.
Yeah. I mean,
anybody's listening out there. If you are listening, have your kids do it.
I think that's brilliant.
And how would we have this where like people would come over to your house and we just all watch their film?
See, I think that would be wonderful, but no, I don't want that. I think
or like somebody's house.
I think it would be better online.
Oh, you're right. Be better.
Because if you're asking people to do something like this on top of leave your house, you know, spend a day away from something else, I think you're asking a lot, especially in the beginning. If this were to grow to something like you got like 40 films a month, then yeah, fucking A, you could do that.
Is this something where we would post it on Buttertown?
We could, yeah.
If I make a film and give it to you, would you put it on Buttertown?
100% I would. Now,
then we'll just say, when is the end of the
we do need some rules.
Okay.
I say we talk about it now, but we don't announce anything until next time.
Okay.
So that way we can think of the rules ahead of time. For instance, no using copywritten music, because then you can't show it in public.
Can you? So is it copywritten if I make it with my mouth?
Nope.
If I go ba 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 ba.
It can be argued, but George Lucas ain't going to come out after
Okay.
you. Like covers are still considered copyright.
Gives a shit.
Well, it depends. It depends on how close it is
Depending on how much money that person's making that the other
and
person
how much
should be
money that
making.
person is making. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, yeah, we could say that.
I mean, I've been wanting to do a movie with you that's like a serious like mob movie, but then we just cut all the audio and you just redo all the audio for every person in the movie, but have like 20 characters.
Oh, I would do that.
Yeah. But your voice doesn't change. It's just your voice.
No, I would.
You don't inflect anything.
No.
I just want you being like, I'm here for the drugs. That's great. Come on inside. Hey, who's at the door? It's that guy who wants to buy the drugs. Well, that's great. Does he want some lemonade with me and Kim? Hi, I'm Kim.
What, am I funny like a clown? Do I make you laugh for amusement? Yeah, I think you're funny. What, like a clown?
Yeah. Wow, that's always been my ambition in life.
I can't believe you shot him. Yes, I shot him.
But the actors would be acting their fucking heart out. You're just like, I'm paid for an hour to be in this booth. You got an hour. Let's get it done.
All right, I want to make then it would be 5 minutes max.
5 minutes max.
The 5 minute max film
And
festival.
truth be told, the greatest short film I have ever seen is like 20 seconds. It's Bambi vs. Godzilla.
I have seen that. That was at the beginning of Godzilla 1985.
Was it really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It was the opening. It was the opening short film right before Disney.
I didn't know
right
that.
before Godzilla 1985.
No shit. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's like if you can do something that clever and funny in 20 seconds, by all means.
But then there was that Mozart music. So if it's classical music,
There's a very weird line with classical music. Here's the truth versus here's what everyone tells you. Everyone tells you it depends on who composed, like who performed it, the recording, like because they need to get blah blah blah. No one fucking cares. Use classical music. It doesn't fucking
That's
matter.
done hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, but who played it? What recording are you using in your piece? Are you using something that's done by the symphony that was made last year? Even if it's someone else's piece? There's legalities based on that, but no one fucking cares. Is there a bug? What? Oh, Jesus, dude. You okay?
There. That was a little one.
You're very brave. You're very brave, John. You're a brave John.
Don't worry, I'll burn out the house later.
Yeah, that's it. Lighter fluid.
Dude, speak to lighter fluid. There was did you see that Air Force veteran that lit himself on fire?
No.
So there's an Air Force veteran that lit. He did the self-immolation or whatever.
Why?
Self-immolated.
Like the monks?
Like the monk, yeah. He literally doused himself in gasoline outside the consulate, the Israel consulate in like Atlanta, or no, in Savannah or Atlanta.
Oh
Doused
my
himself
God.
on fire and just said "Free Palestine" until he just burned to death. I was shocked how long he actually stood. He yelled "Free Palestine" as long as he could. He stood there and just fell over, but he was like yelling completely inflamed for like 2 minutes.
I don't know what to say to this. I'm at a loss.
Yeah, he was in full uniform.
What are people saying about this?
Some people are calling him a dumbass. Some people are calling him. I mean, he did it for something he believed in, but some of the more cynical comments were shit like, a stupid thing to do. People are going to forget about it in a week. I don't know. That was pretty fucking brutal. I mean, there's still like famous photos of that one monk that lit himself on fire.
I know
during
exactly
the
what you're
Vietnam
talking
War.
about. Yeah.
But yeah, the way the news cycle goes,
Yeah.
it is kind of fucking crazy how like quickly people forget shit.
I mean, that's such a powerful mental image.
I'm not going to forget it. That was pretty fucked up.
I've seen the Tibetan monk. Was it Tibetan or was it oh my God, I feel bad.
What he
even
did is
ordering this.
nothing compared to what this guy did. This guy literally stood there at attention and yelled "Free Palestine" completely inflamed. I mean, that was just fucking shocking. The monk like sat. Like
Yeah, he said, deal with your shit. Well, he didn't say it, but Jesus. That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to talk about Israel and Palestine?
Hey everyone, Jason back with one last thing. Before we sign off today, we want to share a really important message with you. A longtime listener of the show, both Buttertown and other previous shows, a young woman named Bella, who's going through a really tough battle with kidney failure. Her story is incredibly inspiring, facing health challenges since birth, and she's now in stage 5 kidney failure and urgently needing a transplant. Here's where we, and hopefully you, come in. Bella's on the transplant list, but the financial strain is immense. From medical bills to post-surgery care, it's a heavy burden. Her family has launched a GoFundMe page to support her on this journey. Time is crucial, and every contribution, no matter the amount, can make a world of difference. Now, let's be the amazing community that I know we are. Click the link in the show notes to check out Bella's GoFundMe page. If there are no show notes where you're listening to us, head on over to Google or GoFundMe and look up Bella Kidney Transplant Fund. Your support, whether through donating or even just sharing this information with your own friends and family, could be the key to giving her a second chance at life. Thank you all for everything you already do and being a part of the incredible community. But I know when push comes to shove, every person listening can stand up and make a goddamn difference. Let's make a real impact together. Head over to GoFundMe and let's make a positive change in Bella's life and her future. Now, while you're heading over to the GoFundMe, I wanted to share one last thing with you to give you a little bit of audio enjoyment on the way out while you're heading on over to either GoFundMe or to your social media to help share in this hopeful help for Bella. So I can already hear you typing in, so I'm going to introduce our final part of the show. This is a song from Graveface Records, you know, that awesome place I went to go see the museum in today, or this week. And this is the Brothers Grillin' No More Mistakes. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do dig them, be sure to head on over to their YouTube channel and subscribe to them, and be sure to pick up a record or two, because I have not heard a single song from this record label that I haven't completely loved. So remember, donate what you can, share the information, help our community, and help the future of Bella. I hope you enjoy Brothers Grillin' No More Mistakes. We'll see you guys next week, or next month. We'll see you when we see you.
There tonight.